Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look now at some stocks on the move today. I'm Katie Greifeld, and we're joined by managing editor for Bloomberg Markets Live blog, Christine Aquino. Christine, what do you have an eye on?
Well, Katie, I'm taking a look at Kraft Heinz this afternoon. We did have some breaking news from the Wall Street Journal. So Kraft Heinz, ticker KHC, we're seeing those shares actually picking up some momentum, up 1.2% at the moment. And that is because Wall Street Journal reported that it is closing in on a plan to break itself up, according to sources. So remember, we did get reports earlier in July. Bloomberg News reported that there was a plan being put into place to break up the company, and they were weighing whether to spin off a large part of its grocery business into a new entity. So the latest from the Journal is that transaction could be finalized and announced as early as next week. But of course, with any M&A deal, we know that is could still be subject to change, and timing could still be different at the last minute, but that is the reporting at the moment. And investors seeming to like this because year to date, that share is down 9%, nearly 9%. So it's really been having a hard time.
Yeah, and it's an interesting space right now. So you have Kraft Heinz trying to break themselves up. Then you think about some of the other deals that we learned about this week. Keurig Dr. Pepper going to buy JDE Peet. So companies breaking themselves apart and also combining. So a little update there on what's going on with Kraft Heinz. What's going on with shares of Dell, though?
Dell is not doing well today, guys. It's down more than 9%. So ticker DELL, really extending those declines heading into the close here before Labor Day weekend. And that's because we did get its earnings report. The latest there is that the AI server orders slowed down in the second quarter. Did see a 5.6 billion figure there versus 12.1 billion in the previous period. So that's quite the slowdown. Operating margin also undershooting estimates. Analysts were expecting 10.3%. They only reported 8.8%. The silver lining, though, is that it did boost its annual outlook and quarterly sales and profits topped estimates. So JP Morgan taking a look at those AI server revenues, they're thinking that, there's a more robust outlook for the fiscal 2026, and that could raise expectations for growth medium term. But in the short term, shares are down and investors are not happy.
Yeah, down 9%. Really brutal reaction there from Wall Street, especially considering that this is a company that raised its annual sales projections. But of course, that is not where the focus is today, just judging by the shares. So that's the story with Dell. Bring us home. Talk to us about Caterpillar.
Caterpillar, ticker CAT, also not doing well. Shares down more than 4% and looks like it's going to close down for the first time in 3 sessions today. Now, Caterpillar warning, of course, all about tariffs, and they're saying that tariffs are going to cost them as much as $1.8 billion for the full year. And then the incremental impact for the third quarter, they're estimating at around $500 to $600 million. And so that does not sound like a good thing, especially for a company that was once considered a bellwether for the American economy, right?
Yeah.
And Bloomberg Intelligence saying, though, that they are still optimistic that earnings will bottom this year, and that obviously the drag from tariffs is bigger than anticipated previously, but they did revise this revised outlook will impact operating margin, and they're not expecting that to be near the bottom of its target range.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.